started this one on the 6th of January, and this image is of the baths that were built in Union Street, Plymouth. They were called the Royal Union Baths. They opened, I think, in May 1830. I was intrigued for a couple of reasons. At one point when I was researching, I'm sure I found a link to actually being a spring in the vicinity. Whether or not that's what they actually use for the baths, I'm not sure. I can't seem to find a link for that now. But I was also interested in this idea of a Union Street because it connected Devonport, East Stonehouse and Plymouth, the three towns. And so I kind of was intrigued by this idea of uniting lands or towns. I think because I set the intention of the baths, there's a lot of watery energy here, maybe an allusion to there being a lot of water underneath. There's certainly where a lot of springs in Plymouth, natural wells, of which only one survives. But there are lots of street names like Ladywell and Finewell and Buckwell Street. Because it's quite watery, I see different things at different times here. But in the main, I see a tall female figure, quite fairy-like, top right. Another figure to the left of her riding a horse, which reminds me of Frozen. And possibly another horse on the far right-hand side. You see the horse's head there? So just focusing in on like that female fairy-like figure. She's got like a long train coming in behind her hair, her head. But interestingly, to the right of her, there is what looks like a blue bowl. So there's that figure that looks a bit like she's riding a horse. I have talked about that recently, associated with a particular goddess, I think, or a constellation, but I can't remember. And then there's almost like the northern lights up in the sky. It does look very much like a scene from Frozen. The second one, I think. So there, that possibly looks a bit like a horse's head, possibly more like a donkey, maybe even a flying dragon up above. Something with a pointy horn right at the top right in pink. So I think it's a nice image. I'm sort of very intrigued by this idea of the energy of places, how long it leaves a signature for. When you think about the idea of cities being built on top of old ruins, etc., like how much of the energy of the old city seeps through. Just as I'm looking at this far left of this picture, I see a face peeking through, a blue face. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.